Okay, so the Leafs got obliterated by a divisional rival. They lost Bobby McMahon to injury, and William Nylander might be getting suspended. But let's focus on the positive. Hey, Nikita Grabenkin, first career NHL point.
They actually took his assist away. He didn't touch it.
Wow, you gotta make a whole video on this, eh? Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great
Finger flick.
You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Okay, no need for the old fist pump. We'll holster that one. That is not getting used tonight. Leafs lose 5-1 at the hands of the Florida Panthers. Now listen, I don't believe in this. As a general rule, I don't believe in burn the tape. Now, for those of you who are too young to know what a tape is, like a videotape, like a cassette tape, maybe even a beta tape of the game. It's a phrase that you say after you get your butt kicked in a game. The coach goes, you know what? We're not gonna go through it. We're not gonna look at the positives or the negatives. We're just gonna throw it out. We're just gonna forget about that one, boys. And then next game we're gonna come out better. And there's obviously a shelf life on that, because what if you stink the next game? But you hope the motivation of the reward of not having to watch that atrocity again propels you to victory. This, to me, is a rare example where you don't need to pick every single goal apart. Now, don't get me wrong. This was an important game. And I think it was a game where you learn a lot about the team. And none of the things you learned were fortunate. Well, maybe a couple. Because what do you have? Heading into this game, the Leafs were what? 7-1, 8-1 without Auston Matthews? It doesn't make sense. How good this team has been without Auston Matthews doesn't make sense. How good they've been historically without him doesn't make any sense. This year, it makes even less sense. So Matthews has been out. Guess what? Domi's been out. And before he was out, he was injured and terrible. Max Pacioretty is out long-term. David Kampf is out long-term. Ryan Reeves is suspended long-term. Calle Jarnkrok, not going to see him anytime soon. There's no one left. I probably forgot someone. Like on the podcast, I keep going, what if they tried 11-7? What if they tried 11 forward, 7 defensemen? And Adam and Jesse keep going, nah, they're not going to do that. They might have to. There's no one left. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. That's the Leafs. What do you have on the other side of the ice? Well, on the other side of the ice, you have the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers were in the top 3 team to start this season, like in terms of their record to start the season. Now, they've been brutal lately. They've been losing the vast majority of their games lately. They got screamed at by Paul Maurice. I think they got bag skated. Nothing has been going their way. So what happens today? Number 1, Florida Panthers are on home ice where you get to control everything. Number 2, you ever been bag skated by Paul Maurice? I bet it sucks. They probably don't want that again. Number 3, nothing like 3 former Panthers who won the Stanley Cup with you last year coming to town and getting your rings to remind you who you really are. And number 4, the Leafs took the lead in the Atlantic Division, and if you're the Florida Panthers, screw those guys. This is our division! So the Leafs aren't just playing a very mad, highly motivated team on the other end of the ice on the road. They're playing the Florida Panthers. And it matters. The Florida Panthers on any given regular season day might lose. They might blow a few games. They might blow a few games in a row. That's what they just did. Because at the end of the day, we know what they're in it for. They're in it for the playoffs. They might even be overlooking the regular season. They're fine. We'll turn on the Jets when the time comes. And then this perfect set of circumstances walks right up to their door. They're mad, they're motivated, they're taking on a team that's coming for the throne, and that team is wounded. When the Florida Panthers are in regular season mode, you got a shot. When the Florida Panthers are playing the way they did tonight, it's really, really hard to beat them. And yeah, it's the NHL. It's a really difficult league. The Leafs have been gutting out, just gritting through all these games recently and just finding a way to win. They've been scoring a decent amount. They've been keeping the puck right out of their net. This was the first time the Leafs allowed more than 3 goals in 10 games. That's mind-blowing. No wonder they basically haven't lost in those 10 games, except for against the Sens. Hockey's dumb. And they've been gutsy and they've been getting good performances from very good players, and everyone else is just sort of playing their part. You can't really just play your part to a win against the Florida Panthers. Maybe, like, in a 7-game series, maybe you get one, which would make it a 5-game series. Fortunate to not be a 4-game series. Look it, I love this team. Look at me. Look at the jersey. Look at all the stuff on the wall. But this past week, Jesse Blake and I on the Steve Dangle podcast were like, yeah, they're probably losing this game. And don't you, oh ye of little faith me, they lost 5-1. And to top it all off, Bobby McMahon gets hurt, listed as lower body, and by the way, the injury he was coming off of was lower body. And William Nylander crossed Nate Schmidt in the face at the end of the game. Yes, it was by accident, but Timo Meier was just suspended 1 game for, you guessed it, cross-checking a guy in the face. They have no one. Someone asked me, they're like, hey, who's the next call-up? Nick Abruzzese, I guess? Producer Hayden said, well, what about Kyle Clifford? Kyle Clifford's not under NHL contract. Okay, well, what about Logan Shaw? He's on the Marlies. He's been playing really good. He's not under NHL contract. I know Alex Nylander wasn't either, but they are, like, dude, they can call up Abruzzese, who has at least played NHL games. They could call up Roni Hirvonen, who hasn't. And then in another group chat, producer Nick goes, hey, wait a sec, could they call up Easton Cowan? And here's the thing. Yes, you can actually call a player up from junior. You can do it on an emergency basis. If you remember, years and years and years ago, the Leafs called up Nazem Kadri from the London Knights, just like Easton Cowan, for 1 game. And he played against Joe Thornton and the San Jose Sharks, I believe, for his first NHL game. There's just one small problem with that plan. Easton Cowan's hurt! Dude, even the Leafs guys in junior are hurt! Even Cedric Paré, he's only played 7 games. I have to assume he's hurt. There were so many posts during this game. They were lighting up Adam's chat on the SDPN YouTube channel. Like, oh, trade Nick Robertson. There's been a lot of trade Nick Robertson discourse. They don't have players! Now, am I happy with the fact that he's played nearly 20 games and he only has 1 point? No! Am I happy that he had a 2-on-1 with William Nylander and it added up to only a soft backhand on one of the best goalies in the world? No. But I think one of the best things about his game, at least as it pertains to the next game against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday, is he is a living, breathing human being who owns hockey equipment and a stick. So who do they call up? Who answers the bell against the Lightning on Saturday? You know what? I had some back issues, but like I've been training really hard and I think they're past me. I'm on the ice like once a week and I can pivot now. Coach, put me in! Okay, I'm really good at hockey. Shanny, come and sign me. I'll play for League Mini. I'm the king of shinny. Whoa, I'll play D. Whoa, I'll play C. Whoa, I'll play wing. Whoa, anything. I'm a puck. Listen, if that doesn't convince you to sign me to fill in for the Leafs, then I don't know what will. All right, I might not be the best hockey player in the world or in like Ajax, or I'm not even the best hockey player on the Steve Dangle podcast. But listen, you need someone. I can be that someone. I'll fight. I'll drop my gloves and get beat up. Listen, I'll do whatever you need. League minimum is like $800,000. I thought about this a lot. In all seriousness, though, for the next game, I think you have to go 11-7. You have to go 7 defensemen. You could honestly justify going 8 defensemen. Like, dude, you don't... Let's say Bobby McMahon's out. All right, you're replacing him with Nikita Grabenkin, which is already crazy. And he had an impressive game. That was a bad penalty. It led to a goal. Yeah. Overall, he had an impressive game. Okay, who fills in for him then? Like, dude, there's no one left! Okay, you want to rest Yanni Hakanpää. Philippe Myers is actually with the hockey team right now. You could put him in. You put him on the wing. Like, who cares? You don't have any players! Like, literally going through the Marlies' top scorers. Alex Steeves, he's already with the team. Alex Nylander, he's already with the team. Logan Shaw, he's not under NHL contract. Nikita Grabenkin, he's already with the team. Topi Niemela, he's not with the team. He's a defenseman, though. The next highest scoring guy is Nick Abruzzese, who actually has a goal and 2 assists in the NHL in games that kind of counted. 3 points in 11 NHL games. That is a 22-point pace over the course of an NHL season, which at this point firmly puts you in the top 6. You might get Austin Matthews back for Saturday. It's not confirmed. You could always make a trade. I don't know. And here's the reason this is relevant, okay? November, they basically don't have games. Like, it's weird, right? The back half of November, the Leafs barely play. December starts this weekend. They have 15 games in December. 15! Christmas break sandwiched in there as well somehow. Just to give you an idea of how condensed those 15 games are. When it was obvious the Leafs were barely playing the back half of November, like literally not playing games for like 2.5 weeks. When it was obvious that was happening, it made sense to rest guys. In December, no, you can't do that. You either have to play guys or be prepared to lose a big old bunch of hockey games. Anthony Stolarz, I don't think I've ever seen a goalie play that well in a game that his team lost 5-1. Chris Tanev blocked, here, let me see, 25 shots by the looks of it. I haven't busted this one out in a long time, but Brad! They don't have any players, Brad! I don't mean to yell at you, I know it's not your fault, but Brad! All jokes aside, this loss sucks. Less for it being a loss for the Leafs, but more for it being a win for the Panthers. Dude, their power play was struggling. Power play scored. They were struggling to win games. They won this game. They got a shorthanded goal out of it. The goalie gets to feel good. The defense gets to feel good. The offense gets to feel good. Who doesn't feel good in Florida after this win? And they got to beat the Leafs. You saw Aaron Ekblad yucking it up with Sam Bennett after he gets an empty net goal. They were having a great time. These guys were reminded who they are, and I think it could be the vibe change, the change of pace that they desperately needed, and they could cruise for the rest of the month. It was always going to be extremely difficult for the Leafs to catch and pass these guys and stay ahead of them. The fact that it took the Panthers losing nearly every single game for a couple weeks and the Leafs winning nearly every single game for a couple weeks, just for the Leafs to pass them by like 1 or 2 points, should give you an idea of how good the Panthers are. Long term, I'm not worried about the Leafs. Like, I'm really not. I think they're going to have a good regular season. They're going to get guys back. What I do worry about is how good the Florida Panthers can be when they're feeling good. LFR questions, and I'm taking these on Blue Sky. Steve Dangle 20 on Blue Sky. Please follow me. There's a lot of people there, and they actually use it. Can you tell Jesse to stop making predictions before the game? He is too accurate. This is what I always say about the podcast. Like, try to be humble. We know the Leafs, dude. Like, they've been playing great recently. Super happy with how everything's going. You could have seen this game from space. Like, you didn't need to be on any kind of psychedelic. You didn't need any kind of Doctor Strange powers. This was always going to happen. God love him, but it was always going to happen. Can you play forward? Asking for the Leafs. If you need someone to be so slow that whenever I gain the zone, you're just offside for the next half minute. Yeah, I can do that. That's assuming we ever get out of our zone. You know what? My guess is if I'm out on the ice with the Leafs, we won't be spending very much time in our zone at all. You know why? Because they bring the puck to center after the other team scores. I like this one. Despite this game being an important game, can't help but feel proud of the boys for playing the way they have these past couple of games, despite missing key players in the lineup. If Nylander is suspended, who would you replace him with? Just grabbing onto your point, did the big guys even have a bad game? Like, John Tavares was trying with his whole soul. Mitch Marner's one goal in the game was disgusting, coming off of a Tavares, sort of broken play face-off. Nylander was good. They put him with Pontus Holmberg and Nick Robertson to start the game. When the Leafs are fully healthy, I don't think either of those players makes this team. I don't. Either of them. They're in the top 6. Willie's been one of the best players in the league. Definitely one of the best wingers in the league to start the season. And he's playing with Holmberg and Robertson, who have a combined 4 points. 4! So if Willie is suspended, you replace him with Bobby shoot! Okay, no, let's do it. Okay, I would do, you have to, okay, if Willie is suspended and Matthews isn't back, you have to spread Marner and Tavares out. You just have to, I think. So, Marner, Holmberg, I'm not entirely sure it matters, honestly. I don't know, man. Marner, Holmberg, Robertson, Tavares, Grabenkin, Dewar? Like, here's the thing. Matthews might be back next game. We don't know. Nyes might be back next game. We don't know. The answer to who do you replace Nylander with is probably someone who wasn't in the lineup for this game. They can't call up another forward. They have to go 11-7. I really do think that's the only choice. It's not just the only choice, it's the best one. You can't bleed the organization dry as like any more than you already have. You have to do 11-7. I'd rather the Leafs make a trade somehow than call someone else up. Like, how do you, like, after Abruzzese, what? Half of you have to take my word for it that that's even a real person. It's going to be a fascinating little while for the Leafs. Always is. One last thing before we go. I got 2 book signings coming up this weekend. Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, Toronto, Eaton Center. That's where I had my first big book signing last year. I hope to see you there. And Barrie on Sunday, same time in the afternoon. It is at 2 o'clock. That is 33 Mapleview Drive West. Oh, and so this is actually 3 book signings in 4 days. On Tuesday at noon, I'm going to be at Indigo Spirit First Canadian Place. That is also in downtown Toronto. So if you happen to be there, I'll be there too, and I'll say hello. For now, let me know what you think the Leafs are going to do going forward in the comment box down below. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Hope to see you at a book signing. I'll see you soon.